Hello and welcome to Take It From The Top. My name's Hayley Sanderson.
And I'm Gavin Ashley Cooper.
And this is your vocal guide to working, surviving and thriving in the industry.
So find us on YouTube where you can see us in all of our glory, but not naked. And like and subscribe and hit for notifications so you do not miss a thing. Hayley, my dear.
Yes.
Should we take it from the top?
Let's do it.
Go.
Hello and welcome back again to our penultimate episode. And today we have the amazing Jess Greenfield on.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, thanks for having me.
That's all right. Thank you so much for coming down today.
Welcome.
So for those of you who don't know, Jess is mostly known for her work with Noel Gallagher. Mm-hmm. You might have seen it in the High Flying Birds. But she does more than just the one gig. Yeah. And today, hopefully, we're going to get into it and talk a bit more about what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you started. When did you find your voice? When did you sort of go, I'm going to sing?
I was about 15 and I was on holiday and I live, at the time, I lived in London with my mum and dad, and I was away also at boarding school, and they had this school concert on every year, and they were having this big band show, and on holiday I started singing, and my mum and dad said, oh wow, you can really sing. And they're musical, I come from a musical family. And then I went back to school and I said, they said, what did you do in the summer holidays? I said, oh, I discovered I could sing. And they said, what? And then I just started singing to something, and it was weird. I must have always been able to sing in tune, but it hadn't dawned on me that it was something that I really wanted to do. And then I got up on stage at the school big band concert. And then after that, that was it. It was like, oh, Jess is the singer at school. And then I think from then I sort of found, it's like it gave me a superpower. I was probably getting bullied and stuff. And so that kind of gave this extra thing to me where I was like, oh, okay, this is something that no one else can do, which sounds
egotistical. It gave you an identity.
It did, immediately.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, it just, after that I was like, there's nothing else I want to do.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, how do I do it? How do I get there?
Which is why we're here.
What a shame this wasn't doing.
Which is why we're here,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, so music was always in my family. It felt not only like a superpower, but very familiar to me, to go into music, to be surrounded by it, because it was just like, it's a suitable job to have. My dad's a working musician. It feels comfortable. I'm being 100% supported in this. There wasn't like you need a proper job,
no.
Which I think was an amazing thing, because I never felt guilty or
like they didn't understand it.
Or they didn't understand it, they totally understood it. Yeah. So I was very, very lucky.
But I often find people say to you, what do you do? And you say, I'm a musician or I'm a singer.
Yeah.
And they go, no, what's your job?
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah. I've definitely had that in the past. I've definitely had that. I think my grandma probably maybe said that a couple of times. But to be honest, she felt that way about my dad as well.
Yeah.
So,
and with your dad, were you playing and stuff when you were younger as well? Was there always music in the house?
Always.
So before you went public at 15, it was just around anyway?
Yeah, and I'd learnt guitar and piano, and it was just always around. There was just, my mum was in a choir, and she was listening to kind of like, she'd studied social anthropology and Southeast Asian art and Burmese.
Wow.
So there was a lot of world music in our house.
Right.
Amazing.
But my dad also ran a Latin band, so there was just Latin music, but then there was like rock and pop and just everything. It was just like a melting pot.
That's amazing.
In my house.
That's phenomenal, isn't
it?
Yeah.
So it was just, I don't know, it just felt, it was just in me and natural, yeah. When I was at school, I became friends with a guy called Jules Jackson, who started up a function band when he left school. And he was at Guildhall, so he was around so many musicians. Yeah. And I think I was still at school maybe 1 year, for one more year. So then when I left, he said, oh, do you want to join this band? And the first band I ever joined, the other male singer was Jules Buckley, who runs the the Heritage Orchestra.
Right.
And he's
Yes,
now
of
like
course.
a famous
Massive.
conductor
Yeah.
and arranger. So he was the other male singer. And there were some other amazing musicians in this band. So straight from the get-go, I was singing with these incredible musicians that all wanted to get ahead in the industry. And everyone was like passing on everyone else's number. So I was, 18, 19 at this point. And I was probably doing gigs once every, I don't know, few months. One gig that was probably only paying 150 quid or something.
Yeah.
And, back then there wasn't any sat-nav. I couldn't drive. So it's like printing everything out.
Yes,
getting whoever's taking me to the gig.
The old route finder.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
And-
drive. That was a
Oh,
nightmare
it's an
trying to
absolute
get lifts
fucking
to
nightmare.
gigs.
I remember.
And then having to, sorry.
It was a nightmare.
And
Getting
he'd play
everywhere.
classical music to me all the time, wouldn't he? But yes, you'd be getting in cars with musicians you'd never met.
No.
And then suddenly you're on stage with them doing something really intimate, like singing.
Yeah, so that was like my early experience of doing functions.
Right.
And that went on, I probably was in that band for, I don't know, between 5 and 10 years. A long time. But throughout that period, meeting so many different people, I was then doing somebody else's band, somebody else's
Yeah.
band, somebody else's band. Then it was like, oh, can you come and sing on my track?
Yes.
Can you come and do this? Can you come and work with this artist? Can you come? And so I did that for a long, long time. And then there was just something in me that was thinking, there's a creativity in here that I'm not getting in
Utilising.
touch with,
Mm.
because I can play and I write melodies in my head and I can write lyrics. Why do I feel like I can only do these function gigs? What's stopping me? And of course, like my confidence level, I didn't have the experience. So something prompted me to look into it more. And I spoke to a friend of mine who was a singer in another band. And he said, oh, you should meet a friend of mine, Anna Krantz. She's a songwriter. So I met up with her and we wrote a song called Forgiveness about a really awful situation I was going through in my relationship with my husband. And we've been together 22 years. So there's been all kinds of things, ups and downs there. But wrote this song and then I put it up on YouTube. And then a manager got in touch with me and he said, oh, I'm from a management company called Crown. We have artists like Ellie Goulding, Ed Sheeran, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, this guy's a scammer. Because as we all know, there's a lot of scams in the music industry. There's a lot of people that are saying they do all this stuff and they don't do anything, or they just want to, take your knickers off.
Yes,
whatever.
there's lots of, though, especially back in the day. It was
Especially
even worse.
back in the day, yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah. I bought my boyfriend took me to this meeting because I didn't trust the guy. Turns out he was the real deal. Then he said, I really love your voice and your songs, so I'm going to put you in touch with loads of different producers and songwriters. So I wrote about 60 songs with these people, did a big showcase, and the feedback was, you're amazing, your songs are great, but we don't know where to place you.
Yes.
So that was the end of that,
Yeah.
which was devastating. And I thought, well, what do I do now? What do I do now? I don't want to be a function singer. I just don't want to do it. But it traps you because
You're earning money. You've
you're
got
earning
bills to
money.
Yeah.
pay. I know.
You've got bills to pay.
We've had
That is
this
the biggest
conversation.
trap
Yeah.
in the music industry. And this is the problem.
Between being an artist and being a session musician, we've discussed this, and I've said if you genuinely want to be an artist, you almost have to sacrifice
I know.
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
and just concentrate on your
Yeah.
art. There is
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
There is no learning songs
Yeah.
for functions. Like
Yeah.
there is only art. And
That's
back
it.
when we were doing it, when trying to be artists, there were men in suits deciding whether you were going to have a career or not. Whereas now I think actually, I know that social media is full of people putting their stuff out, but at least you can almost create your own
Yeah.
movement. You
Yeah.
can say, this is what I do, and try and build
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
little group of followers,
Yeah.
of people that are into your music, and networking with songwriters
Yeah.
you might actually want to write with.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
just being put with.
You're not being placed with people.
Because I had that, people like, oh, work with this guy because he had a hit last
Exactly.
year. And it's like, but what's that got to do with
Yeah.
what I'm
But
doing?
Jamie said about the social media thing is the trouble is it's so instant and so in the
Yes.
now that actually the artistic side of it is kind of forgotten sometimes.
Yeah.
That people put out what they've done in one session and go, this is it, look at this, and there's no artist, there's no mystery about it, there's no excitement about it,
No.
because it's very much
And you also have to stay on top of it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you then have to have the next track, and then you get artists who are forced to, oh, where's your next big hit?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you mean my next big hit? I'm just writing songs.
Yeah.
But then you're expected
Yeah.
to hit a certain
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
I suppose it's just a different order, isn't
Yes.
it now?
It's a different order, and I think, you know, back when I was writing all these songs, I was in my early 20s, and you know, it was still this thing of you need a big budget, you know, and I didn't have that money, and that is why I think that one of the biggest issues in the music industry is that you need money. You need money if you want to be an artist. You've either got to be rich,
Yes.
or very lucky, or go on a TV show, or be really, really good at social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is that some people are really creative, but they're really shit
Yeah.
at being organised with
Yeah.
social media.
Well, can you imagine if Neil Young had to come out now? He's not going to make a YouTube video or an Insta story.
Hi
He's
guys,
not going to be making
just
his...
jumping on. No.
Yeah, absolutely wouldn't. Joni Mitchell, well, maybe. She might.
Maybe. It's really, really difficult. And I just always felt like I need to pay the bills. I need to pay the bills. I'm scared of sacrificing that.
Yes.
And also, if it doesn't work out, I've lost all my work. So it's a really difficult situation.
but it is
Yeah.
easy, but it's so easy to fall into that. This is making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can pay my bills at the moment, so
Yeah.
why would I risk putting it out there when I could just carry on doing what
Yeah.
I'm doing for...
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the session world, you do have a really unique voice, which does sit in an artist genre, I
Yeah.
feel.
Thanks, Hayley.
No, you have, like, because I remember I met you on a wedding function, because that's what we all used to
Yeah.
do. It's how you meet
Yeah.
each other. It's how we all got our jobs, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Any successful job, you have met someone on a wedding.
Yeah. I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, but I remember hearing your voice and just thinking, oh, it's so refreshing to hear someone that doesn't sound like everyone else. But then, and sometimes it can work in a section, like when we did the
Yes.
Steely Dan thing. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, we've all got these, because I've got quite a unique sound, so to speak, as well. But somehow that really worked
It
with
did.
Brian Chambers as well.
It was brilliant.
It was just this like wall of noise coming from the three of us. And it was a crazy sound. So it's like certain gigs, you know, are going to work
Yeah.
really well for your voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but definitely from my perspective, there's some jobs I'm like, they're not going to want me poking through this section. Like, so I don't know if you find it harder to get backing vocal work, or is it nice for you to work with someone like Noel because therefore you can be you? Or...
Yeah, I think that was definitely one of the most appealing things about that gig, that I never really wanted, so I didn't want to be a function singer, and I never really wanted to be a backing singer. So I was never that interested in taking the sort of standard backing vocal gigs. But when that job came up, it was really a really unique job because, like you say, it's just me singing with him, and he does have backing vocals, but it's not about having to work with two or three other singers all doing the same parts. And I got to play a little bit, and so I still felt like I was tapping into that, all the other sides of stuff that I could do. So that felt really, really nice. And it was high profile. So it took the pressure off financially because I was earning better money. So I was able to not do the functions. So I was like, wow, this has kind of saved me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
And
it
gave
almost
you a bit of breathing space to
It
do
did.
some writing and stuff
It did.
again.
Yeah, it did. And also, you know, when we were touring, there'd be for quite big chunks, but then there'd be lots of time off. And I could relax. So, yeah, it did. It kind of, I know it sounds dramatic, it saved me, but it did in a way. and it kind of gave me almost so, you know, I said when I discovered I could sing, it sort of gave me a shield or like a protection or like this sort of gave me that again.
Yeah.
In a different way. And obviously, it boosted my ego because I was like, wow, this person wants to work with me. This is insane. And I was all of a sudden doing these massive gigs, you know, and the way that it happened, I met him in his management offices, and he was lovely, and we had this really nice chat, and he said, well, what are you doing next year? And I said, oh, nothing. He said, oh, do you want to come on tour to America? I was like, what?
Nah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, 6 weeks. And I was like, oh.
I've got a wedding in Norfolk. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So, and he said, have you got any in-ears? And I said, no. And he just called out, can you get Jess some ears made up?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Listen, the day I got a gig where someone paid for me to have in-ears, because I was always like, I'm not buying my own, because I watched people go, I'm with Robbie Williams, and they'd be getting their free in-ears molds.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm waiting. And I remember the day I got a gig
That's
that
so
someone
funny.
said, don't worry, we'll get your ears made. I was like,
Yes.
still got the same ones.
So doing like the Noel gigs particularly, what's the sort of artistic side of that? Because obviously you're kind of doing the same things to the same different crowd, but the same kind of crowd.
Yeah.
Do you still feel there's that artistic side of it, or is it quite restrictive?
I mean, look, when you're doing gig after gig after gig, like anything, it can feel like, not Groundhog Day, but it can feel like a job. But I think I feel so respected by him and by the other musicians, and I don't feel like I'm just at the back and no one can see me. So just from that, I feel like I'm getting some recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I can do my own thing, and people can then, you know, find out what else I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because they know who I am. So I feel like it's kind of still open doors, but I feel very comfortable and well respected in that unit.
Yeah.
It's quite rare.
It's,
like I said.
it's a unique backing vocal chair. Because
It
it's
is.
not, as you say, it's not just turn up, wear black, stand at the back and click,
No,
is it?
no.
It's a band, essentially.
Yeah, it's a band.
But for someone who is a writer, a composer, a lyricist, to get that gig and go, actually, that side of me still needs to be sated somehow.
Yes. Yeah. I do still feel that, and you know, sometimes when we're away, I will write. You know, I'll write lyrics, or at times when I'm at home, I do still do writing sessions, and I'll do my own gigs with my band, and as long as that's ticking along, I feel like it's all good. But particularly at the moment, because we're not touring, I feel like I've got all this time and opportunity to really get stuck into it, because there is still that part of me that thinks I haven't got to that bit. I haven't done it yet. I've touched it. Like, there's elements of, you know, I've had airplay and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that, but I don't feel like I've reached it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
Do you think
But,
as well,
you know,
there's not much of a scene in the UK for singer-songwriter stuff? Like, there's lots of pop. It's a heavy pop scene.
Yeah.
But in America, you could be super famous in Nashville or New Orleans or in different genres.
Yeah.
And it's not mainstream.
No.
But you could still have a massive touring career, writing career, radio, you know. It's a whole
And a huge
thing.
following.
Yeah, massive followings.
Yeah.
And being able to be creative and artistic without having to write hit after hit, as in pop hit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been lucky enough really to have been working with, for a few years, with a guy called Holly Gray, who's a bass player. And we formed, along with my husband and Ross Hewitt. Do you know Ross?
No.
Guitar. Do you know Des? She does Rag and Bone Man.
No.
Oh. Well, anyway, so we formed this band called Wonder 45, and it's like retro soul.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, thanks, Hayley.
That's all right, Ben.
Thanks. So yeah, we've had some Radio 2 playlisting and BBC 6, and we've started on a new album. So I feel like it's kind of pigeonholed quite nicely because it is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's someone else helping me with it. It's not just me. Like,
Yes.
always having to do all the social media all the time, and because I found that really stressful.
Yeah. It is
So
awful.
stressful.
It's not fun.
And I genuinely find that
Yeah.
like I watch other younger people doing it, and they can do a reel and a video in seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, hold on a minute, how do you even?
But we're also from a generation that have overproduced things, edited
Yes.
things, really
Yeah.
thought about something. So
Yeah.
if we're going to record a song, well, we need a studio, we need the right producer, we need this, we need that, we need,
Yeah.
and we're thinking of this full finished product that has taken us months to create.
Yeah.
And then it would have been put out and people would have bought it on CD, vinyl, tape or whatever and listened to it for a long time. Now, everything is consumed so quickly that if you spent the same amount of time on something, probably wouldn't be worth it because
No.
the second it's out, it's gone.
That's it. That's it. And also the repercussions of it are, you do it, and then you're looking at what people are saying, and then you're looking at the stats, and then it has a knock-on effect on yourself and
Your ego,
and like
your
you know,
vulnerabilities.
everything. It's like this. It's got so many layers to it. It's not just now having to use it for work, but when you do use it, it affects you mentally.
Yeah.
So then you want to come off it, but you can't. So you're trapped by it.
But I think it then ruins, in a sense, the art that you could produce because you're then thinking, what should I be producing?
Yeah.
What's landing
Yeah.
with the audience?
It's
when
not natural.
Actually, that isn't
What's going to
art.
get likes rather than what am I going to
exactly.
create? That I can go,
That isn't
I love what
art.
I've created.
Yeah. It's not authentic to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the same when these artists first come out and they have their massive big hit and everyone goes crazy. And then they're like, you've got to repeat that, as we said earlier. But if you're trying to and you're looking at what's working, what isn't, then that's not necessarily, you can't be your most creative self because you're second guessing yourself. And the whole thing is to just sink into what you're creating, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why the greatest artists out there have come up with the most beautiful albums or pieces of artwork or... Can you imagine, like, Van Gogh putting up his painting, going, oh, I only got 20 likes on this one. I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
It didn't work the first time. I'm going to do caricatures.
And if all else fails, just cut your ear off.
Yeah.
That'll get you some likes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I suppose maybe it was still the same back then, just without the flashing lights.
It's just so quick. That's the thing. It's like
It's consumed and it's gone.
it's like trend based.
Yeah. Well, you touched on it a moment ago about mental health, but
Yeah.
just to talk about that a little bit, because the industry is a difficult place to work and can really hurt you, but it can also fuel you.
Yeah.
So just what are your thoughts on how to cope in the industry?
It's a really good question. I think every situation is different because, well, first of all, you don't know what's around the corner in the music industry. You never, ever know. So there's always this feeling in you where you have to have, it's not like having your guard up, but you're like on edge all the time. Like, okay, I need to, you know, just keep going and like not let anyone bring me down. This kind of like, you know, resilience. But when there's no work, it's so easy to start just declining and thinking, oh, nobody likes me anymore and everyone's young and I'm getting too old and no one gives a shit, right? That's what starts to happen. The things that I personally do, and some people will be like, oh, that's a bit wanky. I'm a big believer in manifesting.
Yeah.
I've always done it. I write things down, and actually, like most of the stuff that I've written down has actually come true.
Wow. Okay.
And that actually included, the first time I did it was after I wrote that song Forgiveness, and then I got that MySpace message from that was the first thing. I was like,
MySpace message.
MySpace. That takes me back. Wow.
MySpace.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, therapy, you know, I've had therapy for years. It's really, really helpful. And also to like be honest with people about how you're feeling, because again, in this industry, it's so easy to be like, how are you? Yeah, great. Everything's great.
Yeah.
I'm having a lovely time. Yeah, I've got this gig and that. But no one talks about what's really going on. And I think that then just makes everyone think that they've got to follow this thing.
Yes.
And you go on social media and it's like everyone's having this amazing
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
which then makes it worse. So
Do you think people are afraid of answering? Because that we all dread that question,
Is
don't
that
we?
more of a British thing?
What are you
of
doing
not-
at the moment, or what have you got on at the moment? What have you got coming next? And
Yeah.
there's that bit of you that sometimes you just want to go, do you know what? It's shit at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got no work.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming through at the moment.
Yeah.
But we don't. We kind of go, so I've got this project coming up in like September next year that's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yes,
You go,
yeah.
but what are you doing until we find that thing that's
Yeah.
positive
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer
yeah.
with, because it's the shittiest question in the world.
it's
isn't
so
it?
shit.
What's
Well, you
coming
saw-
You
next?
feel like you're being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't win either, because it's that thing of, if you say you're really busy, then no one will call you.
Yeah.
And if you're really honest and say there's nothing, people are like, well, maybe they're not hot
Why have they
anymore.
not got
It's not-
anything? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really awkward one. And I think it's
Yeah.
just staying in communication with people. Like you say, just like actually seeing what everyone's up to, going to see some gigs, seeing friends.
Yeah.
But then maybe also to help keep your feet on the ground is to have some friends that aren't musicians.
Yeah, I think
Right?
I think that is key. And do you know what? So recently, I've had, being honest, I've had quite an interesting 6 months, put it that way. And I've had a lot of ups and downs, but I've made a lot of new mum friends that have nothing to do with the music
Yeah.
industry, and it's so refreshing
Yes.
because we just don't talk about
No.
music. We just talk about soft play and
Yeah.
being married and not being married and
Yeah.
going to Lidl
And whether you like a pumpkin latte or...
exactly. Should we have another slice of chocolate cake? Yes.
Yum.
But it
Always.
is good to talk about
Yeah.
things that aren't like,
It
I mean, I
is.
live next to sheep and stuff and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares,
No.
which is brilliant. You
Yeah.
don't want to be
No.
obsessing over it
Yeah.
at all.
And I feel like I've had so many years of answering questions like, yeah, everything's great, yeah, cool, that it's so ingrained in me. It's taken up until now to feel like, Jess, you can just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people can't deal with that, then that's up to them. But I'm being true
Yeah.
and I'm being authentic. And then, if I am being honest to singers and they know me well, they'll know that it's just a quiet time.
Yeah.
And actually, it does seem to be quite a quiet time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But as you say, like, earlier, using that quiet time is really important. So
You have to
you
use
can
it. I
actually,
think that's-
here's some
yeah.
time for me to do the creative thing that I would
Exactly.
never get to do because I'm too busy.
Exactly.
And that's you're not being paid for it, but it's legitimate.
Yeah, and it's
Making
looking
the
after
most of it
yourself.
rather than wallowing.
Yeah, and it's looking after yourself rather than thinking, okay, I've always got to be thinking about working for somebody
Yeah.
else, whether it's an artist, whether it's on a function, it's always somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
And you feel sometimes like you're neglecting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a really, really difficult, tricky industry, but an amazing one as well. There's no other job like
is.
it.
No.
Yeah.
It's so addictive. It's so addictive. When you haven't got it, you're desperate for it.
Yeah.
But then
And
when you're sitting in that pit for hours on end, you don't want to do it anymore.
exactly. It's so.
Yeah.
It's
And we've
so.
all had those
Yeah.
moments too.
Yeah.
where-
Yeah.
And there's gigs that you don't want to do that you're stuck on, that you
Yeah.
feel a duty to stay or be
Yeah.
there, or the
Yeah.
artist is a nightmare,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're being disrespected. The opposite of what you say you feel with the Noel thing.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really hard one when you love music, but you're being absolutely, spoken to terribly by
Yeah.
someone in charge or management
Yeah.
or the artist,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that can be really difficult.
Yeah.
Because also you can't then do your job very well, because we're all emotional beings as well, and this isn't just a number. If you're working with numbers, they're facts, aren't they?
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't matter if you feel sad. The answer will still be a 5.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
singing is different, I think,
Yeah.
or playing, or
Yeah. I wish when I was younger that I'd had more faith in myself and my opinions and my creativity and musicality, and not just relied upon and thought that the people that were in charge, the producer, the
Yeah.
manager, whatever, that they knew better, that they could, one person would say, oh, you're like Anastasia. The next person would say, oh, you're like Tina Turner. The next person would say, oh, you're like Alanis Morissette. Oh, and it was just like, let's do something like that. Let's do something like that.
Yes.
And I just thought, well, I don't know.
I just want to do something like me.
Yeah. And I just felt like they were such strong forces, and I got so pulled along by them. And
that's fine if you are manufacturing a Billy Piper type act or a boy band or a, but I think...
And that's what it is. You've picked them to perform those songs, but it was a collaborative thing. Let's write these songs together.
Yeah.
And there was even one producer that I met, he'd had a lot of success. And I couldn't believe it. So he made this track and then said, right, you write to it. Right. He said, I'm going to go over there. You can write the lyrics and melody. And that was it. There was no
working together.
No, he just sort of made a beat, put some chords down, got his mate in to play a bit of guitar on it, and was like, oh yeah, you can do the rest of it. Couldn't believe it.
I sort of quite like that when people leave me to my own devices. I'm like, yes, leave. But I also liked getting involved in the chord progressions, and because it's all one thing.
Well, exactly,
isn't it? It's like madness to separate the.
Well, and also, and I had an opinion about what chords might sound nice, and he was just like, well, you can just do the rest of it. But anyway, everyone's got their own process.
And I think that's the thing, is finding writers that you can work well with and who truly understand you and what it is you want to say.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. If I have to write for somebody, I'm like, well, I need to talk to them. And they're like, well, why? And I'm like, because we need to know what they're into, what they're not into, what they believe in.
Exactly.
What their fears are, what their truth is. Because that's what the audience want to hear about, don't they? They don't want to...
Yeah.
They want to connect. So if you just write something completely generic, I just think that's a real shame.
It's just a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a...
Yeah. And there's probably there's a place for that, but actually probably even less these days, because now I think you have to give a lot of yourself in order to get
we
something.
know who singers are these days.
Yes.
Like we didn't know, 60s, 70s and 80s, we didn't know who these people were. We saw them sing. You'd see them on chat shows and get a small glimpse of what they were like or who they are. Now you literally know these people intimately. Yeah,
there's no mystery about anyone.
But I think that's sort of a shame, like the Elvis thing, the Michael Jackson, all these people. Well, Dolly Parton's quite open, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's always been. But
again, that's only through chat show appearances and stuff. Yeah. That's over a long period of time.
Yes.
That we've seen her as a character, whereas
Cher, Mariah Carey, there's such drama. Like it's all just like here, and I'm just going to give you a little.
Yeah.
A little.
I like it.
That's exciting.
I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because
maybe
also,
that's just because we're of a generation. I don't know.
But also it means that their music can be more general, actually. Like it doesn't have to be super, super personal. Whereas now, if Lily Allen doesn't come on and tell us the inner details of her relationship, then we don't want to hear it. And it's like, actually, you shouldn't have to. If you can make a brilliant song that like is a hit, or that you want to dance to, or just something that isn't overly deep, maybe a bit of fun would be nice as well, and having that mystery behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe being a bit of a character, I suppose.
Yeah. I feel like social media is almost like we are all in a massive soap opera, and we go into it because it feels like an escapism, right? So you go on your phone and you're scrolling and you don't realise loads of time's gone past, and you get sucked into it, and it takes you away from the present.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody is getting all this gossip and infiltrated with all these adverts and stuff. We have created our own soap opera. We've created this thing that just takes you away from the present moment.
Yes.
And that's what's most sad about social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really sad. And when you listen to music, you can be in the moment because you might listen to a lyric or the way a chord progression goes. And now everything's so quick and trend based, and it's just like there's no space.
No.
Or escapism in music.
Yeah.
That whole
I'm
using this to escape.
Exactly.
But
now it's using music as a vehicle to sell stuff or
something.
To watch someone's reel or
to see someone do a random dance that everyone in the world is doing. I've seen 75 families doing the same routine.
I mean, I would say if you want to have a career in music, go for it. Believe in yourself.
Go for it. Have a go, babe.
Have a go, babes. Just have faith in yourself. Don't be scared to have ambition and goals and to be strong about your ideas and your opinions. And be nice, be professional, be kind, and be good, practice,
Be good is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, but some people are shit and they still get work.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, that is very, very true. I mean, that's a whole other episode which we're going to have to save for series
That should be the
2.
very, very last episode we ever do, because we'll slag everyone off and then they'll never want to
No,
watch
but
us
there
ever
will
again.
be well, that's the thing, isn't it? Again, people working.
Gird your loins if you know us.
Shouldn't be. Not shouldn't be. There's a place for everyone.
There is.
That's what
There is
I
a
would
place
say.
for everyone.
And there
There
is
is.
a job for everyone.
There is. Know that there's going to be ups and downs and sort of take it on the chin and be good at socialising, but also, just protect
But
yourself.
also go to bed.
Yeah, protect yourself, look
Yeah.
after yourself, go to bed.
But I think knowing what you're getting into, as you say, is really
you have to know. And I would say do your due diligence with jobs and look into things. And, if you know you're going to meet someone, look into them a little bit and say, and, do a bit of research,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Take your husband along.
yeah,
Yeah, in all seriousness,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
young
Yeah.
females working in the industry going to meet
listen, I mean, that's a whole other episode for another
producers,
day.
managers, all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
Many
awful
situations.
situations with managers in the past. One groomed me.
Yes.
So, there's all kinds of things that can happen.
Yeah.
And
So that's another area I would say to follow your gut. If something doesn't
Yeah.
feel right, no matter
probably
what
not
they are
right.
offering you,
yeah,
do not be fooled.
No.
If
Yeah.
that
No.
feeling occurs, you just get out of there. It's really not
Yeah.
worth it. You will get other work. You will find other people to work with.
Yeah.
Not all of the industry is like that.
No.
But if you get that feeling, it's correct.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is what's going on.
absolutely. Yeah. So I think just look after yourself and just have faith in yourself
And have fun.
and have fun.
Because it is a fun industry to
Have
work
fun.
in. It
Have
is
fun.
a fun industry
Do
to
have
work in.
fun. Find friends. Find like-minded
Yeah.
musicians.
I've had the
singers.
best time. I've had the best time. I've had sad times, but I've also had amazing times. And if it was that bad, I wouldn't still be doing it because it's amazing and it's cathartic and it's amazing getting to do a job that you love to do and that you're good at and you get paid to do it. I mean, there aren't many jobs where you get paid to just, go and hang out with your mates. I mean, you do have to work, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's good work. It's fun work.
Yeah, it's fun work.
Rewarding work.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Jess, thank you so much
Thank you. I've had a
for coming
lovely
and talk
time.
to us. It's
Oh,
been
thanks.
amazing
Thank
to have
you
you.
for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
We need to get back.
You
It's quite
should.
good.
Yeah,
We'll definitely get you back. Is that
yeah,
okay?
of course.
Amazing.
Lots
Amazing.
of stories.
So many stories.
Some of them not fit for broadcast, I'm
No,
sure.
probably
but,
not.
But thank you for watching and thank you for being with us and listening to us. However you caught us, subscribe, like, and do all the things that you need to do on social media to make sure you don't miss an episode of Take It From The Top.
Ever.
Ever.
Don't miss it.
No. And join us next time when we take it from the top.
Bye.